Yes, sirree. Good morning on the 7th day of January. Week number one gone. I'm George Grant saying thank you very much for joining me for another edition of Good Day Grenada on beautiful morning. Beautiful morning. Very quiet, looking out there across the Carriacou and down to Point Celine and Grandance. Everything is just so peaceful, so quiet, so beautiful. Gives you a lot of hope. Good morning, Ernesto. Good morning. Yeah, he and Penny are at it again. Actually, Penny's not going to be with us this morning, as far as I know. But so, Ernesto, don't go patting yourself on the back. Joan Wellington is wishing the class a happy Tuesday. So nice to see you guys on this Tuesday morning. Thankful to be alive. Let's take a look at the rundown, see what sort of mischief we're going to get into here this morning over the next 58 minutes or so. Got a couple of videos I want to share with you this morning. Carriacou and Petite Martinique. Sometimes they both feel left out. Petite Martinique more so than Carriacou, actually. And last night, running around on the internet, I came across a couple of videos, which I thought, hey, why don't we share this morning? Why don't we share them this morning? And I certainly hope that this will make you folks out there in Carriacou feel, and Petite Martinique feel a lot better. That while you may be left out by a lot, you're certainly not by those of us here on Grenada Broadcast, whether it's Make Chat, Gudday Grenada, or what's the other one? Sundays with George Grant. No. We will never forget you guys. And in the process of going through those videos last night, I came across another one, which was done several years ago by a friend of the lady who's going to be in here tomorrow morning, Sharon Roberts. The lady's name is Aisha Blair, sometimes referred to as Odinga. And I thought, well, let's not show that one today. Let's wait and show it when Sharon's here. So, God willing, I'll run that by you tomorrow. The first video I'm going to run is captioned, "Ever realize just how beautiful Carriacou is?" Yeah, it really is. Not just physically, but nice people up there. Nice people up there. The second one is a trip from right here in St. George to Petite Martinique with a company it's a real estate company, and they call themselves, I like this name. I really do like this name. Touched Reality Estate Services. We're going to show you that this morning. So those are the two Petite Martinique and Carriacou videos. Then we have the national report for you. And yeah, for the past few weeks, he's been joining us electronically over there. But he's not going to be joining us electronically. He's actually coming in to sit right here with us this morning. Mr. Ray Roberts. Well, I want to find out just what sort of start he got off to in the new year, 2020. It's something that's being debated on the internet, whether this is the start of a new decade, because some people say that 2019 is not the end of the last decade. They say that 2020 is actually the end of the decade. And 2021 will be the start of the new decade. I don't know. I ain't going to argue about it. But there are people who have been debating whether it's right to say start of a new decade now that we're into 2020. All right, so let's get down to business here. Knowing for a fact that there are many people on the island of Grenada who have never been to Carriacou, let alone Petite Martinique, I'd like to show you this morning just a wee bit of what you're missing. We going to begin in Carriacou with some aerial photography shot by somebody by the name of William Augustin. And this is not new. It was shot, aerial shots, drone shots, was shot way back in July of 2017. But I think you'll get to see some of the beauty of Carriacou and the waters around Carriacou. Check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your pilot speaking, William Augustin. I would like to thank you for flying on Air Grenada 473 Views, and we would like to welcome you to Carriacou.
I gotta confess, one of the reasons why I showed this stuff, I'm showing this stuff from Carriacou and Petite Martinique this morning is because once upon a time I used to go to Carriacou a lot, especially in August for the regatta. We used to do the radio program from up there. Haven't done that in a while, and yesterday I came across a note on Facebook from the lady I mentioned a little while ago, Aisha Blair, pointing out the beauty of Petite Martinique. And I said to her, you know, we really do hope to come back and see you this week. And not just you, but the folks in Carriacou as well. And so she says she's looking forward to that day. Yeah. And one of these days, one of these days, perhaps we should organize a side to go up there. Hey, what say you? Anyhow, in my anxiety to show off Carriacou this morning in Petite Martinique, I totally neglected to say good morning to the pilgrims who are there. So please bear with me. We already acknowledged Ernesto. Joan Wellington saying good morning, Mr. Grant and class. Happy Tuesday to all. Benedict is saying good morning, and so is Bradley Vespre. Hello, Bradley. Rachel John is saying good day, guys. Anthea Rello. Hello, Anthea. Arthur Langine says, good morning, Brother George. I'm so happy to be back in the U.S. Yeah, after your cruise, eh? Take us next time. So I can listen to you with your stories and information. Stories? This stuff is all fact, man. They ain't stories. But thanks anyway, Arthur. I'm looking forward to some more of those goodies you've been growing in your little kitchen garden there. T.F. Richards this morning is on the road again, the Nomad. Yeah, he's he's heading to Arizona this morning. That too is beautiful country out there. Don't know what it's like this time of the year. They get snow? Huh? Kipling Francis is saying good morning, and John Franco as well. And then here comes Carlene Vespre saying top of the morning, George. Benedict Cador says, Carriacou, ain't we just beautiful? Benedict, ain't we? Ain't we just beautiful? You know, I hope that this year is the year when we grow to have a deeper appreciation for the beautiful little rocks that God has blessed us with. You know, we don't have any skyscrapers and a lot of wealth and stuff like that, monetary wealth. We have a lot of wealth, but not monetary. Like, we're not the U.S., we're not Canada, we're not England, Germany, and places like that. And Michelle agrees with Benedict. She says, absolutely. I guess you guys have been there at some point. Claude, hello, Claude. He's wishing us a God bless day. Anthony DeRiggs is there incognito this morning. So is Margaret. Bernard Gilbert. Kathy Roberts saying good morning to you guys. And Arthur says, very good video. This man is doing a better job than the TV station. Thank you, sir. You're the best. Meh. Okay. Thank you, Arthur. Grenada Sunshine's also there incognito this morning. Anthea Rello says, absolutely beautiful. Yeah, Anthea, roll your eyes. Roll your eyes. Simeon Andrews, or Simon Andrews, I think it is, says, very nice video. Blessings. Well, let's thank the gentleman who put that together. Gentleman by the name of William Augustine. And like I said, this is way back in 2017, actually. Anthony DeRigg says, I went to Carriacou during the 1970s on a boat called Emmanuel C. We carried plants there because there was a drought. The slogan was, carry a tree to Carriacou. I like that. Carry a tree to Carriacou. Should get a Jamu to put a calypso together on that. He says, I stayed at a school in 6 Roads with a group. Okay. Arthur Langine says, I thank you, Brother George, for bringing this video to us. Yeah. Margaret Francis says, Anthony, I remember that campaign very well. Mags has now given away her age. She doesn't mind. She doesn't mind. Yvonne Joseph, incognito thus far. And Grenada Sunshine's now saying good morning. Vincent Ignatius Roberts, well, good morning to you, Mr. Roberts. It's an honor to have you in our presence this morning. Thanks for joining us. And Yvonne Joseph has now chimed in and says, good morning from a cold Canada. January, what do you expect, girl? Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Now, that's Carriacou. The next one is about Petite Martinique. It's not a commercial, but some people may describe it as that. So, how about a trip to Petite Martinique with a real estate company by the name of Touched Reality? This piece is about 7 minutes long. Check it out. Wow. Beautiful, eh? Beautiful, beautiful stuff. And boy, I hope to be showing you a lot more of that stuff this year. There's a note here from Ernesto. He says, as a teenager, I happened to spend lots of my time on Aileron. Some people say Aileron. With my grandparents. And one of the things I enjoyed was going to Carriacou with a small boat where I saw the view of the beaches and the shores, beautiful landscapes, and also Petite Martinique. And about Petite Martinique, he says, hilly, but beautiful. Boy, tell me about hilly. Petite Martinique is a tiny little island. I think they only have, what, 7, 8, 900 people on that island? Tiny little island, but hilly. And the morning after my first night in Petite Martinique, my friends came to me at about 5 o'clock and said, hey, George, let's go for an early morning walk. Sure, early morning walk, Petite Martinique, let's explore. They took me up a hill, and it seems like everywhere you go, hill, 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 up, up, up. And the highest point is only, what, about 700 feet? But, you know, to get out of your guest house or wherever it is you're staying in, it's quite a challenge, quite a challenge. And one thing that really impressed me about that little island, you think you have nice big houses in Lansepine and Westerhall and Fort Judy and places. Check out Petite Martinique. Check out Petite Martinique. You'll see some of the mansions they have up there. Not too shabby. Okay, pilgrims, it's 26 minutes after the hour. Running behind time. Let's take our first break. And then the national.
I'm always on the move. Training, traveling, competing. So it's good to know I have Coop Bank in the palm of my hand.
Introducing e-banking, one of many customer convenience services from Grenada Cooperative Bank. And there's more to come.
It's swift, simple, and secure.
Welcome home.
Together with you, our customers, we energize our community.
Together with you, we energize our economy.
We are working together to give our nation a better tomorrow.
With you, we energize our future. Together, we energize our nation.
Thank you for partnering with us
as we energize our Spice Island.
Renlec, energizing our Grenada.
Juve chocolates, cocoa nibs, and cocoa balls from Diamond Estate Grenada are now available at Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, and GrenadaMarket.com. Try the sensational touch of nutmeg and a touch of ginger chocolates, 75% dark and rich, 100% pure cocoa, and their 60% dark and sweet chocolate bars today. Amazon Prime members enjoy free shipping on these orders in the USA, Canada, and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
Can I have a chicken lunch, please? Large.
Real nice today.
I don't want that.
But you just asked for a chicken lunch.
I don't have problem with the lunch. Afraid the container.
What is the problem with it?
These styrofoam containers, they don't good for the environment. They shorten with life.
What foolishness you telling me? So what you want me to use?
Put my food in this.
Where you get that?
At the food fair, where you could get all biodegradable food boxes and disposable food supplies like cups, plates, anything you could think about. Name it, it's there. And they don't harm the environment. Food fair, taking the lead in cleaning up and protecting the environment. Hey, like you take me advice, you get in your biodegradable food supplies.
Well, girl, I supporting who supporting the environment. That is why I shop in that food fair.
Food fair, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets. Products, distributed by Hubbard's agency, Kirani James Boulevard.
Just before I fire up the national report, I want to acknowledge the presence of three very prominent people in this town. I haven't seen any of them in recent times, but it's always a pleasure when they pop up here on this forum. First of all, Mr. Terrence Williamson, good morning. Terry, nice to see you. Hope everything's going fine. George McLeish is there with us as well this morning. And so is Mr. Harry Gibson, all incognito. Guys, pop up and say, hello, George. Hello, class. Just say something. Okay, national report.
Students, teachers, and religious leaders welcome the Ministry of Education's Hour of Prayer initiative. Details to this story and more in the National Report. Welcome back. With the details to the news for Monday, January 6, 2020, I am Sharian Noel. Schools across Grenada and in the Sister Isle engaged in the Ministry of Education's first Hour of Prayer initiative on Monday. Religious leaders were placed in each school to lead the 1 hour of praise and worship.
Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major lift. A barefoot king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Very elated because God comes first in everything, and if we know in the beginning of the term that we have God behind us and in front of us and everywhere, then all we need to do is push ourselves and He's there to back us up.
That was the tone to the start of the Hillary term on Monday as education institutions across the nation followed through on an hour of prayer activity initiated by the Ministry of Education, Human Resource Development, Religious Affairs and Information. The hour of prayer was held under the theme, Teach Me to Pray and to Understand the Power of Prayer. At the Anglican High School, Archdeacon of Grenada Michael Marshall, who also holds the position of manager of the Anglican High School, says the Ministry of Education must be applauded for working along with the denominational school board in initiating the process. He says as a Christian nation, prayer is extremely important to begin any day.
It is time that we elevate that action and moment of prayer within our schools so that we can give the children that understanding that there is a source, a being that is higher than ourselves, and it is God, and that we should acknowledge Him in prayer. That we can be strengthened by not just taking our needs to Him, but allowing Him to be the source, the fountain of our strength, our being, that would allow us to grow through the day. It will allow us for us to recognize that wisdom, knowledge, understanding will not just come from within, or not just come from the school books, but will come from the higher God whom we serve.
At the J.W. Fletcher Catholic Secondary School, it was a similar situation where teachers spoke to the students about the importance of prayer and songs were sung. Former teacher of religious affairs at the school, Reverend Father Gabriel, says there is no better way to begin the new school term amidst of the many challenges faced by both students and teachers.
God is the source of all that we have and are. And as the Bible says, in Him we live, we move and have our being. We have no being except in Him. So there's nothing we can do without God. God is the source. So we got to start everything that pertains to our life in Him. Because if He's not there, nothing is there. So our life, our existence, we owe it to God. So I think it's very important for us to put all our activities, all that has to do with us and the school, the beginning of the school term and the beginning of the new year into the hands of God, who is the Creator, who is in charge and in control of our lives, asking Him to see us through.
Principal of the South St. George Government School, David Adams, told his students that while they are an institution that ensures prayer forms part of their everyday activity, it is indeed a welcome initiative to have all schools participate in an hour of prayer to begin the new school term.
Today we want to focus upon God. Prayer is talking. Actually, prayer is talking. Prayer is talking to God. And so today we want you and all of us to focus more and talk to God more so that our lives will be a better one and God will be pleased with us.
Pastor Royston Gilbert of the Springs Open Bible Church also took the time to visit with the students and partake in the hour of prayer. He told the GIS that prayer is important in every aspect of one's life.
From the time you are born to the time you pass, prayer is important. Prayer is what will keep us. Prayer is what will lead us. And prayer is what will keep us. Because when we pray, we speak to God. And in speaking to God, He will hear, and He will answer us, and He will direct us. So I believe it is very important that in all aspects, we should pray. I want to applaud the government for the initiative they have taken in starting up the entire school system in prayer. I really want to applaud them because prayer is very important. Without prayer, nothing is done.
Reverend Silbert Prescott guided the process at the St. Andrew's Methodist School, reminding the students and teachers that prayer should remain a vital part of their everyday lives. Still with news of the Ministry of Education's Hour on Prayer, Education Minister Honorable Emmeline Pear led a similar exercise at the ministry's headquarters in Tantine with all staff present. They engaged in prayer and enjoyed praise and worship session at the same time as this was being executed in all of the nation's schools. Government is continuing its mandate to improve the services offered at the General Hospital. In 2019, government, through the Ministry of Health, made an investment in the construction of an improved kitchen facility at the General Hospital. The hospital kitchen facility is expected to be completed and functioning at its optimum by mid-2020. Acting Director of Hospital Services, Dr. Carol McIntosh, gave an update on the progress of the project to date.
The new kitchen that will be coming in, it is a 2-story floor. We're bringing it in, and in there it would be much more spacious, so that it will allow for better cooking, allow for us to be able to expand and handle and address having to provide meals for 200 people per day, and that's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And when we say 200, because it also includes our doctors and staff who are on call, who don't have to stay on site, we provide meals for them.
The 2-story facility, which is constructed in keeping with the hazard analysis and critical control points of the HACCP standards, is being constructed with the stipulated flow space, which will allow for improved frozen food storage and food preparation management.
The kitchen, as you can see, that it will be more spacious, that will allow for us to keep all of our frozen foods on site and allow for us to be able to manage a larger meal. It's not like we're cooking at home. We're cooking for a hospital, so we're cooking it in mass numbers. So that is what it's working towards, and that is something that we are not only within the construction making sure that it's spacious, but also making sure that it's fastidious, that it is clean, because of the fact that this is going back into the hospital. So we're looking at having, as always, advisors, people who have done this before, to assist us within this.
Dr. McIntosh stated that the Ministry of Health also gave consideration for the setting up of a cafeteria at the hospital.
The second part is the cafeteria, because right now we have to be on site and we don't have any source of food for us. So we cannot wait for the cafeteria to be opened. That one would most likely be on the top floor of administration, where we would convert one of our buildings into the cafeteria right next to the kitchen, and that would be run specifically for staff and visitors and allowing for them to have foods that would be there. So that would be an additional thing.
The new kitchen is expected to cost in excess of $75,000. This is a national report. More news after the break.
Did you join the public service on or after February 22nd, 1985 and have since retired? This might be important to you. Government understands that the NIS pension may be insufficient to take care of your needs. So, while it awaits the court's ruling on the matter of pension for public officers, government has taken action to protect your quality of life so that you can take care of your needs in the meantime. Persons who joined the public service on or after February 22nd, 1985, and served continuously in an established position for a minimum 26 years and 8 months, and retired at age 60, may be eligible to receive an advance payment, which when combined with NIS, represents 70% of their last salary. For more information, call or visit the Pension Secretariat in the Department of Public Administration, Ministerial Complex, 440-3767.
Welcome back. Tickets go on sale on Monday for the third ODI in Ireland to the West Indies tour at the National Cricket Stadium on January 12th, along with tickets for the first T20 also at the National Cricket Stadium. Chair of the local organizing committee, Norman Gilbert, says preparatory work at the facility for the games are ongoing and nearing completion. Chair of the local organizing committee for the Ireland to West Indies cricket matches to be played in Grenada, Norman Gilbert, says work is at advanced stages to ensure that Grenada successfully hosts the third ODI on January 12th and the first one-day international on January 15th at the National Cricket Stadium. Gilbert says it is not the first time that they have been tasked with the responsibility of overseeing all the preparatory works ahead of the international cricket match in Grenada. Grenada last hosted international cricket on February 25th and 27, 2018, when England toured the West Indies. He says to have international cricket return to Grenada and to be successful at hosting the matches is one that the government, through the Ministry of Sports, must be applauded for.
The National Stadium, as you know, we just hosted international matches in February of last year. And so there was a lot of work done by the Stadium Authority, Ministry of Sports, in terms of the facility itself. So that in itself is almost ready. We also have well in place the security plan for the game, which would include the security for the teams, the escorts, as well as security for the days of the events that is going to be taking place at the National Stadium. The parking would most likely be done at the stadium car park. We await final approval from the Ministry of Sports for parking in the Wesley College playing field. Of course, we understand the weather has not been too kind, and if it continues to rain, we may not be able to use the Wesley College playing field for parking. But of course, parking is available in limited amount at the stadium car park.
The teams are expected in Grenada 2 days prior to match day.
The teams would arrive here on January 10th, both West Indies and Ireland. We have a couple practice days just before the game. In terms of the overall preparation of the teams, I believe that the series would begin on January 7th in Barbados as the first two matches in the ODI series. Once the teams arrive, we are going to be putting the full plan in place in terms of ensuring that the teams are safe and that the matches are going to be of a high quality, high standard. The local organizing committee has persons who have been working there for quite a while in terms of expertise in the different areas. Whilst we understand that every game is different, but I believe that we have what it takes to ensure that the games operate effectively.
Ticket office will open on Monday, January 6th at the National Cricket Stadium, the regular outlet for ticket sales.
I must also indicate that in regard to the ticket sales, we would be utilizing only part of the stadium for this game, whilst we want to encourage the whole of the Grenada to come out and to support. We do not expect to have a filled stadium based on the level of the team that we're playing, but at the same time we want to encourage all persons to come out. So we are utilizing the party stand. The party stand tickets is going to be $15 EC. We also utilizing the Junior Murray Rollo stand. That stand, both levels of that stand would be $40 EC. And we're utilizing part of the members pavilion, which would be $67.50 EC, based on our ticket pricing. We also expect that it's going to be open seating, so persons can feel free to come in and to sit anywhere within the stands. And we expect that we're going to come out in large numbers to support both teams, West Indies and Ireland, as they engage in exciting cricket. Of course, the one-day international is first. That will be on the 12th, starting from 9 in the morning. And the T20 on the Wednesday the 15th would begin at 1 p.m.
And with this story, we come to the end of the National Report for Monday, January 6th, 2020. On behalf of the entire news production team, I am Sharian Noel, thanking you for viewing.
Alrighty, folks. Alrighty. Boy, let me tell you, it's 9:45, which means we're about 15 minutes late getting started with Ray. But let me tell you, once we turn that camera on him, he can have as much time as he wants, okay? The national report this morning obviously stirred up some emotion in you folks, and I want to share some of those comments with you. Ryan says, prayers in school on with a bang. Okay, yes, judging by what you saw in that report there. Anthony DeRiggs says, nothing new. We prayed in school for donkey years in Grenada. Now, this is the one that really threw me for a loop and reminded me that there is no such thing as coincidence. John Franco says, Matthew 6, verse 6, should be read. It is important. Why did I say as a preamble what I just did? I was just explaining to Ray here. On the night before I do my program, like last night, preparing this morning's program, I went to my collection of scriptural passages. I have several lists of passages. And on the night before I do the program, while preparing it, I say, Lord, show me which one for tomorrow morning. And I pulled out a passage which comes from Matthew chapter 6, verses 5 to 15. Not knowing at the time that we would be seeing the contents we just saw in the national report. And not knowing that Mr. Franco would be calling upon us to read Matthew 6, verse 6. Pilgrims, hang on to the end of the program, because when I read that passage, you'll understand that there is no such thing as coincidence. God is in control. Hang on there. Let me continue here. Anthony DeRiggs says, teach them to say grace before meals as we did when I was growing up in Grenada. Yes, Anthony. Still do that. Margaret Francis says, I wish the government would be as obsessed with the provision of good health care as it is with pacifying the people with the calculated use of religion. Hey, Mags. John Franco says, sad part. They use religion to control, just like they did during colonialism. See what I mean about heavy comments this morning? Benedict Cador says, yes, Margaret. She keeps repeating it. There's going to be spacious without mentioning nutrition. Margaret says, quite right, John Franco. Karl Marx got it right. Religion is the opium of the people. You listening, Ray? Ray listening? Coming by you in a minute. Hold on. Joan Wellington says, in my school days, we prayed morning, lunchtime, and evening. What too, Joan? Me too. I'm sure Ray did as well. Claude Putner says, good morning, Miss Thomas. Have a blessed day. Arthur Langine says, thank God this thing is finished. Oh, Arthur, behave yourself. Margaret says, John Franco, I think most people do believe in God or some higher being. I think the criticism is on the callous use of religion to keep the masses in subjugation. I told you there were heavy comments. Pilgrims, quick break, and then Ray.
Conveniently located in the Grandand Shopping Center, for over 40 years, Food Fair has provided quality service at affordable prices. Now, grocery shopping is made easier and more convenient from the Food Fair web store.
Hey, babe. Listen, I need you to go down to Food Fair to get some groceries.
All right, no problem. Right away.
Thanks, babe. What are you doing? You're supposed to be going Food Fair to get a grocery, man.
I am, but didn't you know you can order your groceries online from the Food Fair web store?
Are you serious?
Of course. All you have to do is just to log on to www.foodfair.gd with credit card in hand, and with an order of $100 or more, Food Fair Grenadans will deliver up to 3 miles away. And you don't even have to worry about your information, you know. Their safety measures are excellent.
So hold on. You just order online and Food Fair will deliver to you?
Yep,
Oh, baby, better hurry up and order, man.
I already did. They should be here any minute now.
Enjoy easy online shopping anytime from your home or office from the Food Fair web store. Food Fair, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets.
GRENADA Community Partnership Initiative.
We at the Dorothy Hopkins Center can always rely on you for your steadfast help. It's always forthcoming. We have seen the benefits already. Our bill has been reduced, I was told, by over 40%, and that is welcome because that translates to more care for the residents. And so, thanks again.
GRENADA Energizing Our Community.
All right, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. And so is. Oh, how come you look so white this morning, Ray? Hold on a second. Let's darken him up a little bit. Does he look a little bit better now? Good morning, Ray Robertson. How are you?
Oh, morning, George, and morning to your many listeners, wherever they may be. Good to be with you again, and trust that the new year is all what you desired thus far.
Well, so far, I'm satisfied with the way things are going, and I wish you. I know of your love for this country, and I wish you the very, very best, Ray. I know that you're also trying to do things to make things a little bit better here for us. That's great. Whatever I can do to help, let me know.
Well, I hope your Max can certainly be up and running by, if not tomorrow.
My Mac?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, what Ray is talking about, you might remember yesterday morning we were not able to do fiscal alert with the Bain sisters because the old Mac here has gone kaput. And when I found out the price of a replacement, I wet my diapers. Yeah, kind of pricey stuff. So let me hear you, Ray. The new year is now 1 week old. Time flying, you know, boy.
Yes, very fast.
Have you noticed that the older you get, the shorter the days?
I believe in that one too.
Yeah. Ah.
Yeah, I can't believe it. You know, when you said it was 9:45, you said it was 9:45?
9:45, yeah.
Yeah, I could, because I was downstairs in the car looking through the WhatsApp, and I thought it was 9:30, the GIS news. And I would walk up here.
Bring the mic a little closer to your mouth.
So when I heard you said that, I said,
Yeah.
I couldn't take 10 minutes to come up that step. I do that in a minute. Yeah.
Well, how's the year going for you so far?
Well, there's no complaints as far as I'm concerned. It's been rather, I think I'm enjoying health. I do what I think I wanted to do thus far for the year. There are some things I have to do by this and the 15th of this month. I think I will meet the deadline. So I would say to you, George, I do not have any complaints. I've been on the beach for how many days? I missed one day so far, which is Sunday. I will always miss a Sunday. So I play tennis, so I don't know that I'm missing anything. The one thing perhaps I'm missing, I bought a salt ham for Christmas, and I think I'll
You bought what?
A salt ham.
You bought a salt ham?
Yeah, I think I'll have to give that away. I think wherever I eat a piece, I think I eat a little too much, and it raises my blood pressure.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, Ray, listen, man, I'm glad you brought that up because I have not had a pinch
I'll bring some for you.
of ham.
I'll take it out from the freezer and bring some for you.
Please.
Yeah. I hope I don't put you in trouble.
Blood pressure?
Yes.
Nah. Mine has been very much under control.
Right.
Yeah. Margaret says, Ray, Happy New Year. You are in trouble for 12/31. You know what she's talking about?
12/31.
Yeah, New Year's Eve. You were supposed to join us on New Year's Eve, Rara.
She didn't remind me. That's a bad thing. I went to church, actually. Yeah. I saw in St. George's, and I don't know. I remember the date, but not too sure about the time.
Ray, Joyce and her husband.
Yes, my good friend.
George and his
Right,
wife.
my good friend, right.
Mags and me.
Right.
My good friends.
Yes, that's correct.
And another couple. Yeah, it was a nice time.
Yes, well, I wish Joyce the very best.
Thank you very much. Well, you know something? I'm very upbeat about this year. Despite all the doom and gloom out there, I don't know, but there's just something in my pants saying, hey, it's going to be a good year, man. It's going to be a good year. And I'm willing to do whatever I can to make it a good year.
Well, I hope it's a good year for the country. I've just spoken about myself, but I hope it's a good year for the country. I hope that the prayers we have said when it was yesterday to start the school year, I hope it's a manifestation of the goodness and the kindness that will not just be with the children of the nation, but the leaders of the nation, and I may say all and sundry. Because to me, prayers only got meaning and usefulness when it is manifested in our behavior. I mean, you could recite a poem, you could recite the prayers, the Bible verses, and be doing the complete opposite. So for me, as I said, prayers must be manifested in one's behavior. Anything else, I don't know that it makes any useful sense.
You know, you made a comment on my WhatsApp forum right after I posted the release from the Ministry of Education. I read your comment because I thought it was very profound. And I am not at all surprised to see the reaction from the general public. By and large, the people seem to agree with the need for prayer. But there is this apprehension, Ray. There is this skepticism. There is this cynicism. And I spoke about that last week. It seems that nothing government does is really welcome. People are always skeptical. What's the motive behind that? Eh? And I think it's because what they've been put through over the years, people are somewhat paranoid. I mean, how could anybody be against prayer in schools? Look at what's happening in the United States.
Well, I don't think people are against prayers.
No, they're not.
I have a point that I wanted to make this morning. We were disrupted last year with the industrial action of the teachers when the government deducted their income as a result of their protest repension. Now, I was hoping that we would have addressed that issue and closed it at the end of 2019. But this is the start of 2020. And for me, the physical education program is as fundamental to young people's development and parents and others' enjoyment. And I have not seen, I hope there is at least a program of all the sports that will be staged this year. Normally there are about 101, 102 pre-primary, primary, secondary, the Athletic Association. And I would hope that some efforts are being made to resolve it, because the teachers are still maintaining their work to rule. And if that is maintained, I mean, it's certainly going to have repercussion on the various individual school sports. So I would hope that we seek to solve these things, because, George, they are just not recreation. They are good for combating juvenile delinquency. And even for some people, it's a career. Look Anderson Peters. I mean, Kirani James. It is the athletics that have given them that wings to fly beyond where they were. So I would trust that we see some serious efforts on the part of the government. I'm going to send you an article that I wrote. I think the government should concede in the interests of the greater good, which is to ensure that these activities are held, extracurriculum events are staged, because that's what really make a school, to me, what it really is. I mean, the sports, the schools, debate, the art competitions and so forth. So I would hope that one, to me, that burning issue is solved. I would hope early in this month.
I saw a question on Facebook from somebody asking whether or not there is going to be intercall or whether or not the government-sponsored game this year. But I never ever saw a response to that. Have you heard any indication?
Well, I'm inquiring. I'm told that it will be held.
What will be held?
I'm talking about the real intercall. I'm not talking about the government. That don't make much intelligent sense. That's not useful, really. I mean, it doesn't have the fervor and the enthusiasm that the traditional intercall really brings. I mean, that is just really, let's not color it. That's just politics. What we need are the games organized by the Principals Association. That's what we need. And sponsored, I'm told it's going to be sponsored by Republic Bank.
I heard that.
Right. So that's what I'm hearing. But I'm hearing from good sources that they have had a meeting. Some of the people who are key to it have had a meeting, and it could be.
They meaning the intercall people? Or
Yeah, the intercall people. I'm
people.
talking about the real people.
The real
The
McCoy.
real people. That's correct. And I hope that really works out well, because, George, it is, you can't replace it with some kind of government bringing two Calypsonian in the park and providing free transportation. That's not going to get us anywhere. That is temporary. We need what is the volunteerism of the teachers and the principals and the support of the public. That's what we need. Nothing else perhaps will replace it.
For those who may not remember the outcome of the last one, what do you recall?
Well, there were some good events. There were some decent events. The question is some decent events against a complete program that is massive, attractive, and participatory. I mean, you don't want to have, let's not take away some of the kids produce decent times and so forth. But it was not what Intercall is known for.
The atmosphere.
That's correct. I mean, yes, you had the decorations of the stadium, and I think Baby Killer sang a couple songs, and oh, come on, that's not what it is. We want to hear the drums of SAS. We want to hear the noise from St. Patrick's, MacDonald College, the continuous GBSS SAS battle, occupying different sections of the stadium. That's what we want. Is that rivalry that lives on years after you pass school.
All right, so I guess we'll just have to wait. It's going to be a matter of time.
Right.
I have a question here from Anthony DeRiggs. He says, Ray, do you believe the Grenadian people are enthusiastic about the upcoming cricket matches at the stadium?
Well, there's a match next Wednesday, Ireland versus the West Indies. I would think so. I would think you won't see 18,000 people in the pavilion. The capacity is around 16,000, I think. But you wouldn't see that number. I think the same 3,000 of us will show up. I suspect.
The same 3,000 of us.
I think there'll be a little more. Maybe the government or, private sector companies may sponsor tickets for schools, and it's, the secondary schools may be encouraged to bring little groups and so forth. And then the West Indies played well against India, so there may be some encouragement. There is Shai Hope, who bats very well. I mean, they're ranking him in terms of his statistics with Viv Richards and Lara. So people may be curious to see if he's really that kind of material. So I think there won't be, the hurrah that we had in the 70s and 80s and 90s. But I think some people will.
But it's not just because of the good performance recently by the West Indies. I think Ireland. Ireland.
Well, the West Indies B team, that's the A team they call it, beat them already. They had a warm-up match. Darren Bravo captained the team, and they defeated the Irish. The Irish is at the bottom of the table. But I think there are going to be some fans. As I said, they did well against India. India is the top team in the world, and they pushed them to the edge in that series in December. So some people will be, interested to see if this team led by this young Trinidadian would make what people believe would be a better West Indies team in 2020. I hope so. I would wholly hope that we have a team that is... And then this is a World Cup year. West Indies are the defending world champion. And people would, I don't know, gamblers and people like Dr. Woodchop would...
Winty?
So, George, I hope there's a decent turnout for the sake of West Indies cricket. I hope we get a good crowd.
All right. Somehow it just seems that cricket, the support for cricket that we saw when you and I were little boys, he just do there.
Well, George, let me tell you something that was, I may use the word you used earlier, very profound. I sat home looking at the presentation of prizes in the St. Andrew Cricket League, which used to be the biggest, perhaps, in the OECS. In any case, they had problems, so they revived it, and that's good. But they were presenting prizes won in 2019. And, George, I couldn't believe it. They were making out checks to the teams or the clubs, and they had to rewrite some of the checks because none of the teams had a bank account. So the teams had to recommend an individual, I suppose, who is trustworthy. So the checks were made to individuals.
Okay.
No, I'm saying that to say, that has to be a crisis because traditionally the clubs I grew up in, or in quite a few, you have an account. So the money or whatever it is made to the club, you deposit it in the bank, there's a treasurer, 2 trustees, and you make withdrawals accordingly. And the chairman, who I thought did a pretty good job, Mr. Cummins, he said to the clubs, I hope that is not repeated in 2020. Please start a bank account. And I'm not talking, they were paying good prizes. Munich got about $10,000. A couple of other teams were placing 4th, picked up $3,000. So they paid out a good sum of money. But they had to make the checks to individuals. So that tells you where we are in terms of organization in the country. Because clubs come from the community. Now, I want to add one more. On Saturday, I was in Tanti, and I met Lester Smith, and we sat there for a while because we were looking for somebody to get a knock with. And it's just two of us sitting in Tanti. So I said to Lester, boy, I born before you. I mean, in the 60s, 70s, 80s, early 90s, there would have been people beginning to practice cricket. There was nobody there, actually. And the sun was beautiful, the arena was lovely, nobody. So we ought to be concerned that, well, you have to ask yourself, where are the young people? So they're all on cell phone and WhatsApp and what have you. So we need to take notice that the playing fields and the Reds Parade sent me a piece from St. Lucia. Similar thing, that the fields were not seeing large numbers. Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing that's doing extremely well, and you saw it this year, 2020.
Yes, but the numbers of people playing, because you could only find quality when you have, the greatest number of people playing, and coming out of that. I mean, it's competitive, so people are pushed to go beyond where perhaps the limits are. But if it's just a few of us, then we all are automatically picked. So you need mass participation. I said to you last week or some time ago, the English was spending what, 3 million pounds to motivate grassroots cricket to beat Australia in 2025 or somewhere around there. So they were looking for a generation to emerge. And the generation they're looking for is to provide them with the right skills. I have not heard about that. So, and we just read a budget. So, I hope this year again could be a greater focus on health, because I listened to the debate, national health insurance. George, that's not going to fix anything. We have to find a way, and I will repeat it again, to get people back to appreciate primary health care.
By the way, you mentioned national health insurance. Is there some consultation coming up next week?
I know that the civil society people have something coming up.
Yeah. Folks, for those of you who are interested in what's been happening with the national health insurance, the folks from Miami who are supposedly going to be putting this together for us here in Grenada, they're coming down next week. And CSO, the Civil Society Organization, they sent me some documents yesterday, which I think would be very helpful in giving you some food for thought. They're inviting you to attend this consultation next week. And in preparation for that, you might want to check out the documents. They're posted on the GRENADABROADCAST.com website. So check that out, NHI.
It's on the 14th, I think it's the 14th.
14th, yeah. Okay, that's a week from today.
That's Tuesday.
Yeah.
Next Tuesday, right.
Next Tuesday. Right. Now, we're going to digress here for a minute. Yvonne Joseph says, I totally agree with Ray. This is exactly what I said. You can pray till Christ comes, but unless behavioral patterns change, it is useless.
Totally useless.
During slavery days, the same kinds of systems were used. You remember the saying, let us Christianize the poor wretches' minds, but enslave their bodies? I don't remember that one, Yvonne. It's before my time. But that's what she's saying here. Ernesto says, in the U.S., it is very diverse with the different ethnic groups and having prayer in public schools. It's not allowed. Having prayer in public schools is not allowed, but in Catholic and other Christian schools, it is practiced.
I support prayers in school. I think it's a wonderful thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I have no doubt that it has. The reason why we have a society, to me, we have some tolerance in us. I think, and particularly the generation, I would say, prior to what we have now, I think prayers played its part.
You know what was really interesting? One night this week, I was watching a newscast, and to hear the teachers talk about the prayer in school, they're saying that the kids really need prayer. I guess they know that they're dealing with them on a daily basis.
Well, there's no doubt. Look, the late Jerome McBarnett, we were pretty good friends, and he said to me, he used to go to GBSS to do religious knowledge. And he stopped me one day. He said, Ray, I never felt that bad. I said, what happened? He said, none of the guys could say the Our Father.
Yeah, yeah.
He said the simplest prayer you could think about is Our Father.
Yeah.
And none of the guys could recite the Our Father.
Margaret says, read Columbus's Doctrine of Discovery. You'll find much of that there. Okay, Mags. Yeah.
Well, I hope that it is not a one-off thing, because it makes us look like the state is a saint led by saints and angels, and perhaps they should all be canonized. That's the kind of thing these charades to me create, and I would hope that the state really recognize that that is not the biggest. The biggest challenge we have in this country, we parents, adults, that's our biggest challenge. That's where the breakdown is. It's not the children, it's the parents, the leaders. I mean, as I said, I hope I would get Pastor Rashi and all these evangelical and all the Catholics and all the whoever they are to come on the carnage on a Friday to see what we are dishing out to young people from as early as 3 o'clock.
And in front
There's
of
a
them
big
a Friday.
bar, that's correct, with all kind of rum. And some of them do seemingly, well, I don't know, maybe their height, their size could pass us 21 or whatever age and over. But if that is what we want to pray to get rid of, and we're not telling those who doing it, it is wrong, then George, again, it's just for television. Television makes you look really better than what you really are. I'm telling you.
Not only on the Carnage, Ray, but in front of the mall downtown. What do you call that mall?
Well, it's the one in the car that turns me up the most. The simple reason, as I said, innocent parents send their child to school, and and he or she is enticed by somebody my age, your age, a little younger, whatever. I mean, that's the unfortunate thing. The reason why there is a law that under 18 you can't go to a shop and buy rum or whatever it is, that was done for a particular reason. That was done for a particular. The U.S., you know it better than I. Have you ever seen anybody drink a beer? I see on the television two gentlemen who perhaps fit the bill having a drink of strong rum each. They say it's the best thing with oil down or what have you. I mean, why do we have to show the bottle and show two young men with a plastic cup?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the most despicable ad I've ever seen.
Margaret is asking, I knew it was just a matter of time before Margaret got spooled up on you. She's asking here, Ray, do you believe that if you don't want to pray to your God, I should be forced to?
No, you could go outside. We wouldn't miss you. I don't know if I'll miss you. Now, look, my good friend Chess, we started the TUC. I was there for 20 years, and he didn't believe in that. So nobody missed him. I mean, the majority of us who were there actively participated. So if you don't want to pray, go outside. I mean, but don't come and tell us don't have prayers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
Anthony the Rig says, Ray, you're right. Big people need prayers.
Yeah.
Anthony, I don't know if you heard the comment that he made, and I read it on the program, a comment that he made when the word came out about this hour of prayer. Essentially, you were saying that the politicians need the prayer more than...
I mean, And look, let me just, last night, as I told you, I went to a church activity. And somebody said, Father, you will have to get a bowl of water to bless Ray. So I said to Miss Antoine, I thought you were my friend. Yeah. Well, I think you'll have to get, then somebody said, no, you may need an avalanche. So I think what you need is a river to really cure the sins of so many of our politicians.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I don't know, I don't want to fit into that bill, but I do participate. I mean, so many wrong things have been done and continuous that our children read these things. You know. They're not dumb, you know. They read these things. They all know what's happening in our society. You know. I mean, you look at the CBI. I mean, the young people know that it's now a bonanza for a few people to get rich. And they know it's not an honest way of getting rich. So that's what I'm saying. Let's not find the television camera useful. So there are 801 boys in GBSS. And we show them praying. So God, this must be the most blessed country on earth. But take the camera to the Esplanade. Not the Esplanade, the Carriacou. And then you'll see the other side. So you go, SAS has about 700. So you can choose the areas, and then convent, they always nicely, smartly dressed, high school, and yeah, Wesley College. So you imagine seeing these people all pious, George, not like me and you. So there is no, Satan have lost Grenada. There's no room for Satan in Grenada.
Guess who has joined in the conversation now?
Tell me.
Pele.
Pele Davo.
Yeah,
Pele.
Pele, here's this. Pele says, good morning, guys. George, do you remember in PBC, we're both PBC kids, we prayed before every subject at the beginning and ending of school. Also, we said the Angelus at midday, Mondays to Fridays, plus attending Mass and observing the feast days. Corpus Christi, Presentation Day, Battle Hill Pilgrimage. The Battle Hill Pilgrimage I remember very well, Pele. I climbed that hill a lot. He says, added to that, there were more prayers if you were a member of the Legion of Mary. Yes, my mom was a part. Thank you, Pele, for the reminders. You remember them days?
Are you telling me? That's correct. So, really and truly, but George, the people who did it, they did it with a good intention. That's what it is. You know, I can talk about, I couldn't miss Station of the Cross. I mean, my grandmother was big on this thing. Huge. The best mangoes, they were for the Catholic nuns and priests. So they did it with a good intention. I don't know that the same intention. I mean, it may be perhaps in our thoughts. But as I said to you, you know, I always say to people, the one thing I like about Christianity is Jesus Christ, what, he had 12 fishermen. Some of them might have been drunkards. Some of them might have been all that we see today. But he found these folks.
He found what?
Jesus Christ's disciples. I said Peter and others, they were fishermen. And they might have been doing all the things that the fishermen are doing today.
They weren't saints.
Well, yeah, but the point is they were chosen and they were converted. I hope that we find some conversion among our leaders. Serious conversion.
All right. Anthony says, the children pray and then sing all those popular songs about rum.
Anthony is a good poet. I'm sure he's going to write a piece on that.
I'm sure he will.
Yeah.
John Franco says, my problem is that more people have died in God's name than any political difference. He's got a point there, eh? Margaret says, If Grenada, which touts itself as a Christian country, is any example, then there must be truth to the saying that nearer to the church, further from God. Mags.
Well, boy, that too is to be considered, eh? That too must be considered because we see a lot of these things, and again, as I said, we don't find a church in Grenada today that is really actively involved in all areas. I mean, they select areas, and I'm not saying they have to join into these parties and politics, which oftentimes I don't like. But there are times we need to call on our society. I mean, look, this thing I just spoke about, that industrial thing between the teachers. I was happy to hear the bishop spoke recently about his concern for education and noting that the key to that success ought to be the quality of teaching. I think if our religious leaders are really serious about anything, they have to take that one to heart.
Margaret says here, Ray, and the road to hell is filled with good intentions.
Always.
Yeah. She's responding to John Franco here. She says, John Franco, now you see why history is so important? All the major wars were due to religion.
And those that are coming are going to be a religious one also.
Bradley Vespre is making a very interesting point here. Says, prayer is the last thing that is done before nations go to war. What do you think?
Well, I guess you pray to have the war end very quickly.
Yeah.
That's all I can think about. Or you pray to beat the opponent.
Yeah. Ray, let me tell you. Hold on. Margaret says, wasn't KCM a PBC alumni? Yes. So much for those prayers. I rest my case.
I hope you didn't hear that one.
Margaret, yes. He taught me math at PBC. And to this day, I swear that he was the best math teacher I ever laid my eyes on. Yeah, he made me like math. The man was good at that. Okay. Ray, I think we got to go.
Yes, my friend.
We got to go.
Got some assignment to do myself.
You got some assignments.
Yes.
Before you go, my dear friends, thank you very much.
You're most welcome,
as
my
always.
friend.
Before we go, one parting word from the Holy Scriptures. And I want you to remember what I said earlier on. This reading is from Matthew 6, verses 5 to 15. When I pulled this passage last night, I had no clue that the National Report would have been saying what it did this morning, nor did I have any clue that I think it was John Franco who was raising the point or asking that Matthew 6, verse 6 be read. Well, you're going to hear verse 6 in here. Matthew 6, verses 5 to 15 says, and when you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to pray, standing in the synagogues and on the street corners to be seen by others. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward in full. But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father who sees what is unseen and what is done in secret will reward you. And when you pray, do not keep on babbling like the pagans, for they think that they will be heard because of their many words. Do not be like them. your Father knows what you need before you ask Him. This, then, is how you should pray. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come. Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we also have forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For if you forgive other people when they sin against you, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive others their sins, your Father will not forgive your sins. I rest my case, pilgrims. Matthew chapter 6, verses 5 to 15. Quick look back here. Bradley Vespre says, that explains why KCM is so good with the nation's money. Blessings and guidance as always, George. Thank you very much, my dear friends. On that note, Georgie Porgy is going to scoot. I say thank you very much for joining us today and every day. Today is what, Tuesday? So we still have a couple of days to go. And certainly hope you'll be able to join us again tomorrow morning for the next edition of Good Day, Grenada. God bless you.